Now that you have your belly dance bra completed, we're ready to make the belly dance belt. And this is very easy construction for this belt. What you'll need is the pattern from the workshop. You'll need to cut 2 pieces for each pattern piece. You'll have a pattern piece for the front of the belt. You'll have a pattern piece for the back of the belt. You'll need to cut 2 pieces each per pattern, one for the front, one for the back. So you'll have 4 pieces of denim cut first, and you'll have 2 pieces of the needlepoint canvas. I believe this is a size 14. You can also use 18. You'll need 1 piece for the front, 1 piece for the back of the belt. Once you have your pieces cut, if this were a single width of fabric, you would put 1 piece of denim, 1 piece of the canvas, and another piece of denim to form a sandwich. And that's how the belt base is constructed. 2 pieces of denim, 1 piece of canvas in the middle. Once you have those cut and lined up together, you'll want to pin that together so it doesn't shift when you sew it. Pin around all the edges and in the middle. Then you'll take your pieces to the machine, your sewing machine, set it on a large zigzag, and just run your belt through the machine. You'll want to go on all sides, and then you'll want to do like a zigzag pattern in the middle, and that will just keep your fabric from bunching up and shifting when you wear it. It'll make it more stable. So do that to the back pattern piece and the front belt pattern piece. When you're done, you'll have 2 pieces to your belt. Don't sew those together yet. Leave them separately because you'll want to cover and decorate them before you sew them together. So to cover your belt piece, you'll want to lay your fabric down with the glitter dot face down. Put your belt on top of that, your belt base, just 1 piece. Don't sew it together yet. Pin that fabric down to where it's on the edges of the belt. You'll need to cover the entire thing. Pin it all down to where it's nice and neat. And then put that in your machine and sew it along all the edges. Use your zigzag pattern again on your machine. Sew it down on all the edges. When you're done with that, you'll be ready to decorate your belt. We'll start by trimming it the same as you did your bra. You'll want to trim all of the outer edges with the same metallic trim or beaded trim, whatever you used on your bra. You'll want it to be the same so it looks like it's a set. So pin that trim down on all of the outer edges of your belt. Do all edges. And then you can sew that down on your machine as well, or you can sew it by hand. If you sew it on the machine, make sure your thread matches your trim, and just do that in a zigzag pattern. After you have your belt completely covered and trimmed, turn it over, cut away the excess fabric just as you did on your bra, so the back is, you know, totally clean, free of any extra fabric. That way it won't scratch you. If you don't want to leave it untrimmed on the bottom or, you know, unfinished, you can sew felt on that. You can sew cotton. You can sew anything that you feel comfortable with, you know, on the back side. Glitter dot will scratch you. It will hurt. That's the only reason I don't recommend you cover it with glitter dot, just simply because it will hurt. Once you have that trimmed, ready to decorate, you'll need to find the middle of your belt. And you do that just by folding it in half. You'll just fold your belt in half, find the middle, put a pin where the middle is, and then start decorating your belt from the middle where you've actually marked it with the pin. So fold it in half, find the middle, mark it, and then you're ready to decorate. You'll need several appliques for this. The bigger the applique, the better. Remember to lay your appliques over the trim so it will look, finished. You don't want trim way above the applique. It just won't look right. So find the middle of your belt, the middle of your applique. You can lay your applique in any direction. Just make sure that you find the middle and lay it on, the same line as the pin. If you're going to lay it at a diagonal, just find the diagonal middle. Lay it there. Make sure it goes over, the actual trim. And then just start decorating from there. It'll take several appliques to completely decorate your belt. But the more appliques you use, the better it's going to look. So I suggest, use quite a few. Once you have your belt completely covered with appliques, and you don't have to use all the same appliques. You can use different ones. You can lay them over each other, just however you want it. Just make sure that that's completely covered with appliques. You can also add jewels, sew on jewels where you have any, large spaces of just fabric. Anything that sparkles will work. You can put buttons, beads. If you want to hand bead it, you can do that. You can put jewelry, anything you like on there. So once you have it all laid out, then you'll want to sew down your appliques. Pin them on and then hand sew them along all the edges, and that will make it lay down flat and look nice. So after you finish that, you're ready to put the hooks on and make it fit you. I'm going to take this off, but please remember to cover it, trim it, and even decorate it before you actually put the hooks on. That way you'll know, where the middle is, where your appliques are going to be. So when you're ready to put your hooks on, again, find the middle of the front and the back. Make sure that that middle piece is right below your belly button, right on your belly button. Just line it up with your belly button so you'll know where the middle is. And you can wear it wherever you like. I mean, if you're not comfortable wearing it under your belly button, you can pull it up to your belly button. That's fine. Just make sure you're comfortable. Find the sides, pin it, pin the front to the back. Look in the mirror, make sure it's straight before you ever sew it together. When you're ready to sew it together and you've found, the middle and it's all straight and the sides it needs to be, overlap the sides. You'll want one side sewn together, one side open with hooks so that you can actually, put it on without any problems. So the side that you want sewn together, overlap it. Don't do this because it will just cause a big lump. It'll pucker and it just won't look good. Make sure you overlap it. I usually do the front section over the back section. It just looks nicer. Make sure that's trimmed. Make sure an applique goes over it. Sew that down. Zigzag it on your machine. Trim over it, put an applique over it, put a jewel over it, something just to finish it off. And then when you're ready to put your hooks on, you'll have these trouser hooks, and they're just big metal hooks. You'll have a hook, and you'll have an eye for each set. You'll want to put the hook on one side, and then put the eye on the other side that's overlapping, and sew it to the edge. Just sew it down. You can also, if you have to adjust it very much and it's overlapping a lot to where you have material hanging over under, you can put a big snap on that on the inside to make that lay flat. But that's just that easy.